Hi guys, today's topic is what is the immutable object? You know that a string is a immutable class. What is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of immutable? Immutable means once we construct the object means we can't change the state of that object. In object-oriented concept, state means what? Data. I can't change the state of that object. So fine, it is that a string is a immutable class. But the question is, can we create a immutable class in Java? If as a developer we can design some immutable object in Java, then what are the steps we are bound to follow for creating the immutable object? So yes, whatever Java did, we can also did the same type of jobs. There is no differences are there. But there are some steps we are bound to follow for creating an immutable class. So Java tell once I construct a string object means I can't change the object, that is what content of the object. Now see, if I write like this string, here you see s is equal to new string, what I pass here, that is I write here Java technocrat. If I write here that is Java technocrat, that means what? Once I create an object of the class means, you know that a string is a immutable class, and as it is an immutable class, once I construct the object of the string means I can't change the that is contents of the string object or state of the string object. So Java tell how it is possible that once I create a string object means I can't change the content of the string object, and what is the meaning of immutable? As a programmer, can I create the immutable class? Yes, we can also design the immutable class in Java by following some steps. Now, whatever the object we create, that objects are called as what? Mutable object. Take an example. I just have a class called as a class. Here you see that is EMP. EMP is a class. Now, in this class case, what I can do, I have a that is word that is called as int. I pass here EMP ID. You know that is the identity I have to specify. Then I have to write a string that is a fine that is name. I have to specify the name. Now when we write a POJO application, that is what a normal application we write in Java, you know that the EMP is a class having two, that is what instance variable I declared. You know that here what happens, instance variable means what? That is the object variable. That is it can hold the object state. Then what is our next job? I just write like this EMP having a non-parameterized constructor. What we did here, we just write that is a fine system dot out dot that is a println. Here I just write that is a fine. I construct an object. Object is that is constructed. We just write like this object is constructed. Anyway, I just did that. You know that after that what we can do? I can inject the state of the object by the help of word setter methods. So what we can do here, we are using assessor methods, setter and getter method, for retrieving the state of the object. Now, what we can do here, I just move to the next line. We have to write that is a public void, that is a set, that is a EMP ID. I just set the employee ID. By passing word that is a int, that is a fine. Here you see what we can do here, that is a fine int, that is a EMP ID. You know that. Here my instance variable name and parameter name is same. How can I differentiate it? This dot empid is equal to, that is empid. Anyway, I set it. Now there is a getter method, public, that is a int, that is a, what we can do, that is a get empid. Now here what I did here, that is a return, that is a empid. I just return. Anyway, after that, what is my next job? I just write here public, there is a void, there is a set name. Here you see this is assessor method. So what we can do here, that is a string name. Now what I did here, I just write here this dot name is equal to, that is name. Now same way I just write here public, that is string, what I pass here, that is get name. What I can return here, I just write return, that is name. Are you getting? Fine. This is the end of the class. Now you see, this is called as a mutable class. Now in this case, I can construct the object by calling the which constructor? That is fine, non-parameterized constructor. Then after that, I can change the state of the object as per our requirement. Anyway, when we start the Java programming, at that moment we always construct the mutable class. Check here. Now after that, what we can do, I just move to another class. Here you see, there is what I can do here, public class, there is demo. Demo is a class. What we can do here, that is public, here you see, there is a static void, here you write, that is main. Now after that, what we can do, that is a string args. Now in the interview they ask you the question, that is what is a mutable class, what is a immutable class. That is Java ke string is a immutable class. As a developer, can you construct a immutable class? You tell yes, I can construct. But first I show you what is the meaning of mutable class. Now check here, what I did here, I write empee is equal to new emp. What I can do here, I am constructing the emp object, and E is the reference of the emp class point to the emp object. Now by the help of the setter method, if I write dot set find emp, that is id 101, it is of int type, I just set it. Now what is my next job? dot set name, I write here, that is Raj. I enter here Raj. Now for that emp object, I set the id is 101 and I set the name is word Raj. Now here you see, I just write here, that is system.out. That is the println. I extract the id. Here you see, id is fine. What I can do here, dot get emp id. It extract the emp id. Fine. Plus one tab. What's it right here? That is fine. Name is that is e dot get name. It just extract the name. So this is called as word. I'm just injecting the data by the help of word setter method. Now what is my next job? What is mutable? I show you. Now another time if I write dot set emp id, that is 105, that means word. I change the id of the same object as word 105. There is no problem. I can change it easily. This is called as mutable. I'm not set the name. That is what I'm not changed the name. Name is same Raj, but I want to change the ID of that employee is what 105. Now after that, if I write another time, that is system dot out dot, that is the println. If I write here, that is the ID anyway, that is the e dot get, here you see emp id. Is it extract? Is it extract 101 or 105? That is 105. I change the ID. So when I change the ID, now ID is changed. But I'm not changing the name. Name is remain same. That is Raj. Here you see. Then I write here one tab. Here you see name is plus. EE dot, that is get name. Check here. What it extract? It extract the, that is word, it extract the same name. Now this is called as word mutable object. So till the time you try to understand what is a mutable class or what is the mutable object. Mutable object means once I construct the employee object, and after the employee object is constructed, if I want to change the data of the object, I can use what a setter method to change the state of the object. That is called as mutable object. Now you tell, that is the EMP object. Now it is what that is the EMP object is a, that is a mutable. Here you see mutable object. But what I want that a employee object must be a immutable object. How it is a immutable object? What's the syntax I write for that? Our EMP object is a, that is a mutable object we can design, or immutable object we can design. Now this is all about what mutability or mutable class. But I want to change how we can design a immutable class. You see. Now in my next part I show you how as a programmer I can design a immutable class. Now see here. I just write same thing. I write here. There you go. First is a immutable class must be a final class. Must be. String is a immutable class. String is a final class. Because no one can change the property or state of the object by the child class object. You know that the child class can directly invoke the properties of which class? Base class. So as a programmer, you just remember the first step. A immutable class must be a final class. So string is what type of class? It is a final class. As it is an immutable class, it must be final. So what I can do here, I just write public. Here you see, that is the final. Check here. That is the public final, or you can directly write, there is no problem. I can make it word. That is the final class. What's I pass here? That is EMP. So EMP class must be a final class. Now, what is my next job? What I can do? Check here. The next part is whatever the state are available or whatever the instance variables we declared, they must be final, because you know that final members cannot be changed, or final variable value cannot be changed. When the class is final, that class having no child classes, because if I am not making the class is final, then through the child class object I can able to change the behavior. But here what I did here, final int, here I just write emp id. I just declare. I'm not initialize it, fine, because you know that final variable bound to be initialized. And we can't change the value of the final variable. See. Now, what is my next job? I write here final string. What's I pass here? That is name. You know that these are the instance variables. And as per the rule, you know that instance variables are initialized at the object creation time. They are bound to be initialized within the constructor. So another restriction is there. Do not define, that is, setter methods. Because what is the job of the setter method? Setter method is able to change the state of the object. What we can do here, that is EMP is the constructor. We can define the constructor. But what type of constructor I am bound to define? That is the parameterized constructor. Because at the object creation time, the instance variables are initialized. I just do one thing, that is int emp id. I just pass here string name. Anyway, what I can do here, that is this dot emp id is equal to, that is emp id. That is this dot, that is name is equal to, what I can pass here, that is name. Anyway, that is the constructor. I just define the constructor. See here. Now, what is the next job? What I can do? I'm just doing one thing. Here, you see, at the rate override, I just write here. You know that who is the base class of EMP class? That is, you know, that object. And when I print the reference of the EMP class, it must implicitly call the toString method. I just override the toString method of object class. What I can do? Public, that is string. What I did here, I just override the toString method. When I return here, I just write return. That is the fine. Here you see EMP ID is plus, that is EMP ID plus what I can pass here, that is a name is plus, that is name. Now here you see, this is the way I can do the job. Here you see, I just return it. Now that is the end of the block, end of this area. So that is called as what type of class? Immutable class. You know that now EMP is a what type of class? EMP is an immutable class. Immutable class. Whatever string did, I did the same job. But remember, immutable class must be final. Because if it is a final class, it has no child classes. Second, whatever the state or whatever the variables, instance variables we declared, they must be final. Third, we never define the setter method to inject the values. So setter method is not defined. Now this is a immutable class. So this is the way you can design a immutable class. Once I construct the object means I can't change the state of the object. Object state cannot be changed. So fine, this is all about immutable class. Thank you. So fine, whatever I covered or whatever I explained, how we can create a immutable class, that I want to show you by the help of application. Now see here, I just write here, there it is fine. Here I just write, there it is test dot, that is Java. Now what I can do here, I just write final class, that is EMP. EMP is a final class. Anyway, now what is my next job? I just declare the instance variable as word, final. Now what I can do here, final, there it is int empid. Anyway, there it is final, I just write here string, there it is name. What is my next job? AMP is the constructor. I already covered, there is no setter method is required here because these are the instance variables. Instance variables are initialized at object creation time. If we use the setter method after object is created, we have to initialize the instance variable. But we define our, or we declare our member as word final. When the members are final, that bound to be initialized at the object creation time. Instance variables always initialize at the object creation time. So, as my instance variables are final, within the constructor I have to initialize it. Setter method is not fulfill my job here. I just write int empid, comma, here I just write string, that is name. Now, how can I differentiate it? This dot empid is equal to empid. That is this dot name is equal to, that is name. Anyway, the task is over. Now, I have to override the toString method. Here you see public string, that is toString. You try to understand. You know that every class must inherit from which class? Object class. And a method overriding is only possible in case of word child class. I just return here, sorry, return. There it is empid, fine. What I can do here? empid. What I pass here? I just write return name. What I write here? That is the name I return. Anyway, that is the end of which class? That is EMP class. Now, this class is a immutable class. Once the object is created means I can't change the, that is what, content of the object. Or I can't change the state of the object. State means what? The data. Data of the object cannot be changed. String is just declared like this. String is a mutable class. String buffer is a mutable class. String builder is a mutable class. But string is what type of class? Immutable. You know that string is a final class. Here I make the EMP class is also final. I am following the guidelines of Java. So there are some guidelines are there. If you want to declare a immutable class, you have to follow these guidelines. First is make the class is final. Second is make the instance variable or declare the instance variable as final. Third is whatever the instance variables they are initialized within the parameterized constructor. Do not inject the instance variable through setter method. Setter method is not required here. Now here what I can do here, public, here you see, sorry, that is a public class. I just declare the class name is test. What is my next job? Public static void main. Would I pass here, that is string arg. So we just enter into the main. What is my next job? I just write here empaa is equal to new emp. What's I pass here? There it is, I have to pass the ID is 101. That is the name is Rashmi. Take an example. I pass the name. Here you see what I write here, system data out dot println. I just pass here. That is A. You know the concept, when I print the value of a reference, it must implicitly call the toString method of which class? Object class. Here I override the method, then it print. This is called as word immutable class. So if someone asks you in the interview, that is what is the immutable class, you just explain like this. Sir, whatever the classes we declare, that is mutable class. Mutable class means I am able to change the state of the object. But what is the immutable class and how you declare the immutable class? I just explained. It is one of the questions we face in the interview. Now you check here, that is fine. I just compile the code, that is execute the code. Now see what actually happens here. Now you check. Here I can't declare the setter method. Setter method is not fulfill the job because my members are final and instance variables are always initialized at the object creation time. Constructor can did it, setter method can did it. Getting? Thank you.